Welcome back to Research Methods course. I'm Brian, and this is my fantastic co-host, Lucy. How you doing?
I'm doing well, ready to dive into this fascinating world of research.
Always excited to have you, and for anyone new to the Research Methods course, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's get started. Today, we're tackling a topic that might seem a bit daunting at first, the literature review.
It's a crucial step in any research project, but it can definitely feel overwhelming, especially if you're new to research.
Exactly. So today we're going to unpack what a literature review is, and more importantly, why it's so essential to your success as a researcher. Think of this as your shortcut to becoming a literature review pro ready to deep dive.
Absolutely. Let's break it down.
All right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is a literature review? Is it just a fancy way of saying reading a bunch of articles?
It's more than just reading. It's about engaging with existing research in a critical and analytical way. It's about understanding the ongoing conversation in your field and figuring out where your research fits in.
So it's not just about summarizing what others have said, but about analyzing, synthesizing, and even critiquing those existing studies.
Exactly. It's about understanding the strengths and weaknesses of previous research, identifying any gaps or controversies, and ultimately building a solid foundation for your own work.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this goes beyond just a summary, but why should our listeners care? Why is a literature review so essential, especially for someone just starting out in research?
Great question. There are actually 7 key reasons why a literature review is crucial to good research.
7 reasons. Okay, you've got my attention. Lay it on me.
First, it helps you grasp the landscape of your research topic. Think of it like exploring a new city. You wouldn't just wander around aimlessly, would you? You'd consult a map, get recommendations, and figure out the key landmarks.
So the literature review is like my research map. It helps me orient myself in the vast world of information.
Precisely, it helps you understand the key concepts, theories, and debates in your field. And just like a map prevents you from getting lost, a literature review helps you avoid accidentally repeating research that's already been done.
So I can avoid reinventing the wheel. What a time saver. Can you give us a concrete example of how this might work in, say, TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages?
Sure, let's say you're interested in studying learner motivation in online TESOL classrooms. A literature review would point you to foundational work on motivation theories like Dernier's work from 2005. It would also help you understand how these theories have been applied in different contexts, like self-motivation in language learning, which Ushioda explored in 2011.
So by understanding those foundations, I can make sure my research is building on existing knowledge and contributing something new to the conversation. Okay, I'm convinced. What's reason number 2?
The second reason is that it helps you identify research gaps. Remember those blank spaces on your map. Those are the areas waiting to be explored.
So the literature review helps me find those exciting, uncharted territories in my field.
Exactly. These research gaps could be areas where there's a lack of studies, contradictions in existing research that need further investigation, or even a need to apply existing knowledge to new contexts or populations.
Okay, so it's not just about knowing what's out there, but also about spotting what's missing. That's how you find those opportunities to make a real contribution to your field. Give us an example of a gap in TESOL research.
Sure, imagine you're interested in how self-paced online learning environments impact learner motivation. You might find tons of research on motivation in traditional classrooms, but very little on this specific type of online learning that would be a gap you could explore.
So that's where I can come in with my research and contribute something original, find the gap, fill the gap. I like it. What's next?
The third reason is all about focus. A literature review helps you refine your research questions and make them specific and researchable. Think of it like adjusting your compass to ensure you're heading in the right direction.
So it's about taking those initial broad research interests and turning them into clear, well-defined questions that I can actually investigate.
Precisely. Let's say you're interested in the broad topic of how students learn English online. A literature review might help you narrow that down to a more specific question, like how does gamification in online TESOL courses influence learner motivation for teenage learners?
So it's about finding that sweet spot, a question that's focused enough to be manageable, but still significant enough to be interesting and contribute to the field. Okay, what's next on our list of reasons?
The fourth reason is that a literature review helps you build a solid theoretical framework. It's like finding the right tools for the job.
Okay, so we're talking about the theories and concepts that underpin our research. Can you give us an example?
Absolutely. Let's say you're studying student autonomy in digital learning environments. Your literature review might lead you to Benson's 2013 model of learner autonomy, which provides a framework for understanding how students take control of their own learning. You could use Benson's model as a lens through which to examine student autonomy in, say, an online TESOL course.
So I'm not just collecting data in a vacuum. I'm using existing theories to help me interpret and make sense of my findings. That's really helpful. What about other fields? How does this apply to, say, business English or translation studies?
It applies across the board. A business English study on persuasion in business negotiations might draw on Aristotle's rhetorical theory, specifically his concepts of ethos, pathos, and logos, to analyze how speakers build credibility and appeal to their audience's emotions and logic.
Fascinating. It's like borrowing tools from the great thinkers of the past to analyze modern communication. And what about translation studies?
In translation studies, a study on translating humor in subtitles might use the general theory of verbal humor, which identifies different humor mechanisms to analyze how these mechanisms are adapted in translation.
It's amazing to see how these theoretical frameworks can bridge different fields and provide a common language for understanding complex phenomena. Our reason number 5, I'm eager to hear more.
This one is all about building credibility. A strong literature review demonstrates that you've done your homework, that you're aware of the existing research, and that your work is built on a solid foundation of knowledge. It shows that you're not just expressing opinions, but that your arguments are grounded in evidence.
Okay, so it's about showing the academic community that I'm a serious researcher who's done their due diligence, but what if I have a fresh perspective or a new idea? Isn't there a risk of getting bogged down in other people's work?
That's a great point. A literature review doesn't stifle originality. It actually enhances it by understanding the existing conversation. You can position your own unique contribution more effectively.
So it's about finding that balance between building on existing knowledge and carving out my own space in the field. How do I make sure my own voice and ideas shine through?
By demonstrating a clear understanding of the existing research and then articulating how your work extends challenges or offers a new perspective on those existing ideas.
So it's about showing that I'm not just repeating what others have said, but that I'm adding something new and valuable to the conversation that makes sense. What's next on our list of reasons?
Reason number 6 is all about holding academic integrity. This means giving credit where credit is due and avoiding plagiarism.
Right. Academic honesty is paramount. We need to be meticulous about acknowledging our sources and representing others' ideas accurately.
Exactly. A literature review encourages you to do this by weaving together multiple voices and perspectives. It helps you avoid relying too heavily on a single source and encourages a more balanced and nuanced view of the research landscape.
So it's about creating a tapestry of ideas, carefully citing each source, and ensuring that I'm representing the full spectrum of research on my topic that leads to more comprehensive and credible research. What's the final reason on our list?
The 7th and final reason is that a literature review can significantly improve your research design by examining the methods and approaches used in previous studies. You can identify suitable methods for your own research, avoid common pitfalls, and even get inspiration for innovative approaches.
So it's like learning from the successes and mistakes of other researchers. What kind of insights might I gain from examining the methodologies of past studies?
You might discover new data collection techniques, analytical approaches, or even ways to address potential limitations in your own study. It's like having a team of expert consultants guiding you through the research process.
That sounds incredibly valuable, especially for someone new to research. It's like having a roadmap for avoiding those common research potholes. I'm starting to see the literature review as less of a chore and more like a secret weapon for research success.
Exactly. It's an investment of time that pays off in multiple ways. It helps you refine your focus, strengthen your arguments, and ultimately produce higher quality research.
Wow, Lucy, you've really painted a compelling picture is why the literature review is so essential. It's not just a box to tick off. It's a powerful tool that can elevate your research to a whole new level. But I know our listeners are eager to put all this knowledge into practice. You've mentioned some activities to help us apply these concepts. Can you walk us through those?
Of course, let's get interactive and put those research brains to work. All right, let's dive into those activities. Activity number 1 is all about connecting those 7 reasons we just discussed to your own research interests. Think about a topic you're curious about, something you'd like to explore in more depth.
So listeners, take a moment to brainstorm what burning questions keep you up at night. What mysteries of the universe are you dying to unravel?
Once you have your topic, think about why a literature review would be important for this particular area of study. How does it connect to those 7 reasons?
Exactly. Would a literature review help you understand the key theories and debates in this field? Would it help you identify any research gaps? Would it help you refine your research question or choose appropriate methods?
Take some time to reflect on these questions and jot down your thoughts. We'll come back to this later.
Now, for activity number 2, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty of searching for relevant research. Let's say you've chosen your research topic. What's the next step?
It's time to put on your detective hat and brainstorm some keywords for a database search.
Keywords are those magic words that unlock the treasure trove of research articles. They're the key to finding the most relevant and useful studies for your literature review.
Exactly. So think about the key terms that capture the essence of your research topic. What are the main concepts, theories, or variables you're interested in?
For example, if your topic is learner motivation in online TESOL classrooms, your keywords might include things like motivation, online learning, TESOL engagement, or even specific theories like self-determination theory.
And here's what it gets really interesting. You can use some advanced search techniques to make your search even more effective.
Ooh, advanced techniques, tell me more.
One handy trick is using Boolean operators. These are words like and, or, and not that help you combine or exclude keywords to narrow or broaden your search.
So if I'm looking for articles that discuss both motivation and online learning, I would use the operator and to connect those terms.
Exactly. And if you want to find articles that discuss either motivation or engagement, you would use the operator or.
I'm starting to feel like a research ninja. What other secret weapons do we have in our arsenal?
Another useful technique is phrase searching. If you're looking for a specific phrase like language learning strategies, put it in quotation marks to ensure that the database searches for those words together.
Ah, so that helps me avoid getting a bunch of articles about language and learning separately smart.
And then there are wildcards and truncations. These are symbols like asterisks and question marks that help you capture variations of a word. For example, if you search for motive, it will find articles containing motivation, motivating, motivated, and so on.
These techniques are like little shortcuts that help me find all the relevant research without having to type in every possible variation of a word. Brilliant.
Don't forget about using filters to refine your search further. You can narrow your search by date range, focus on peer-reviewed journals, or even look for articles published in specific languages.
So many possibilities for activity number 2. We encourage you to choose a topic, brainstorm some keywords, and play around with some of these advanced search techniques. See what you can discover.
And for our final activity number 3, we're going to sharpen our analytical skills by dissecting an article abstract.
The abstract is that concise summary you often find at the beginning of a research article. It gives you a quick overview of the study's purpose, methods, and key findings.
Think of it as the movie trailer for the research article. It gives you just enough information to pique your interest and decide whether you want to read the full article.
So for this activity, we want you to select an interesting article abstract from your search and analyze it.
Pay attention to the research question or problem the study addresses. What are the key variables or concepts being investigated?
How did the researchers go about collecting and analyzing their data? What methods did they use?
And most importantly, what were the key findings or conclusions of the study? What new insights did this research contribute to the field?
Take some time to really dig in the abstract and try to extract the most important information. This is great practice for when you start reading full research articles for your literature review.
Exactly. So there you have it, 3 activities to help you put your literature review skills into practice. We encourage you to pause the episode, take your time with each activity, and jot down your thoughts and discoveries. And if you're feeling brave, share your insights in the comments below. We love hearing from our listeners.
We'll be back in a jiffy to explore some of the potential pitfalls of skipping the literature review and to answer a thought-provoking question that will leave you pondering the future of research. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, Research Explorers. Before the break, we left you with a question to ponder. What if every researcher out there embraced the power of the literature review? What kind of research utopia could we create?
Ah, yes. That tantalizing thought experiment. I've been letting it simmer in my mind, and I think the implications are quite profound.
Okay, let's unpack this. What would be the most immediate impact of a world where everyone dives deep into the existing research?
Well, for starters, imagine a world with significantly less redundant research. We'd see fewer studies retreading the same ground, rehashing ideas that have already been explored.
So less reinventing the wheel, more building upon the foundations that others have already laid. That sounds incredibly efficient.
Exactly. Researchers could focus their energy on pushing the boundaries of knowledge, exploring those uncharted territories that we talked about earlier. It would accelerate the pace of discovery in every field imaginable. And not only would we save time and effort, but the overall quality of research would likely skyrocket.
Absolutely. When researchers have a solid grasp of the existing literature, they can ask more focused, relevant, and impactful research questions. They're less likely to embark on those fishing expeditions where they cast a wide net and hope for the best.
Right. It's about moving from those vague exploratory questions to those laser-focused inquiries that really get to the heart of the matter.
And with a deeper understanding of existing methodologies, researchers would be better equipped to choose the right tools for the job, leading to more robust and reliable results.
So better research questions plus better research methods equals, well, better research overall. It's a win-win for everyone. But I think the implications go beyond just efficiency and quality. What about the bigger picture?
Ah, yes, now we're venturing into truly exciting territory. I believe that a world steeped in thorough literature reviews would see a surge in interdisciplinary research.
Interdisciplinary research, you mean those collaborations where researchers from different fields team up to tackle complex problems from multiple angles?
Precisely as researchers become more familiar with the work being done in other disciplines, they'd be more likely to spot connections, draw inspiration from different perspectives, and collaborate across those traditional academic boundaries.
So instead of working in silos, we'd see more cross-pollination of ideas leading to new insights and innovative approaches to solving those big, messy problems that face our world.
Exactly. Imagine a linguist studying language development partnering with a neuroscientist to explore the brain's role in language acquisition, or a sociologist teaming up with an economist to study the impact of social inequalities on economic outcomes.
It's like breaking down the walls between those academic departments and creating a more interconnected and vibrant research community. I love that. But what about the impact on education? How would this emphasis on literature reviews shape the next generation of scholars?
That's a crucial point. Imagine if from the very beginning of their academic journeys, students were instilled with the importance of engaging with the existing research.
It would transform the way they approach learning. Instead of passively absorbing information, they'd become active explorers of knowledge, critically evaluating existing research and formulating their own research questions.
They'd develop those essential critical thinking skills, honing their ability to synthesize information, identify gaps in knowledge, and construct compelling arguments based on evidence.
We'd be empowering a generation of curious, informed, and engaged learners, ready to tackle the complex challenges of our world head-on.
It's a powerful vision, and I believe it's achievable. It starts with educators and mentors emphasizing the value of the literature review and providing students with the tools and guidance they need to navigate the world of research.
So to our listeners, whether you're seasoned researchers or just starting your academic journeys, embrace the literature review. It's not just a step in the research process, it's a gateway to a world of knowledge discovery and intellectual growth.
Every research project, no matter how small, has the potential to contribute to the vast and ever-evolving tapestry of human knowledge, but that contribution starts with a deep dive into the existing literature.
So go forth, explore, and engage with the work of those who came before you. You never know what amazing insights you might uncover or what new paths you might forge.
And most importantly, share your findings with the world. Knowledge is at its most powerful when it's shared and used to make a positive impact.
What a fantastic note to end on. Thank you, Lucy, for joining me on this deep dive into the fascinating world of the literature review. It's been an enlightening journey.
The pleasure was all mine, Brian. Until next time, keep those minds curious, those research engines firing, and those literature reviews flowing.
And to all our amazing listeners, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts and answers to our activities in the comments below. Happy researching, everyone.